How many of you have felt over-advertised to by Yousician? If you've ever tried to learn to play a music instrument online, I feel like there's a good chance you've come across a Yousician ad.
Yousician is the best.
And apparently they're working, because Wikipedia says that Yousician claims to be the world's largest music educator. I don't know why it's worded like that, but still, it's pretty big. But in case you don't know what Yousician is, quick recap. Yousician began in 2011 when two Swedish guys noticed the success of Rock Band and Guitar Hero and responded by making a similar game but with a real guitar.
In other words, we are turning these normal guitars into the most exciting gaming controller in the world.
Which might sound familiar, but what separated Yousician from Rocksmith is that while Rocksmith was geared more towards gamers and needed this $30 Rocksmith real-tone cable, with Yousician, all you needed was an iPad and an iPad mic. The first release from the Yousician guys came in the form of a game called
Wild Chords.
It's where you played music notes to collect animals. This is weird. But it served as a foundation for what would become the desktop app Guitar Bots, and then later the music learning app Yousician in 2014. Yousician was pretty popular right away, but hit its peak in 2016 when they introduced custom songs. So pretty much every song ever was on Yousician. But in late 2018, they quietly removed that feature. But it wasn't that quiet, everyone noticed. And around the same time, they switched the subscription model, so you now had more features like Yousician Voice. Wow. But it was a lot more expensive. So now in 2019, is Yousician worth it? It's expensive. It still works really well, but... So today, I'm going to break down the pros and cons of Yousician and compare it to other similar online resources, and together we can decide, is it worth the money? So first and foremost, Yousician's a learning resource. I primarily explored the guitar path, because, you know, there's three paths you can follow. There's lead, rhythm, and knowledge, the three types of guitars. And basically, you follow a structured course that advances you from basic concepts to advanced concepts. Each stage includes video lessons to introduce you to the topic, and then a training exercise to train you, and then songs so you can implement your new technique musically. The stages progress in a logical way that, lets you build on the techniques that you've previously learned while adding new ones that complement them in a way that feels, pretty natural. Kind of like Justin Guitar. Which is free. Which isn't actually necessarily a bad thing, because it actually lets Yousician serve as a good supplement to Justin's course. That said, if you are gonna pay, there are better options out there in terms of the course. For example, Guitar Tricks. I made a whole video on it, you can check it out. Essentially, Guitar Tricks lets you make a customizable path depending on what your goals are, whereas Yousician's more of a general, you'll learn how to play guitar, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But the big thing that separates Yousician from Guitar Tricks,
Yousician listens to you play and gives instant feedback on accuracy and timing.
This is actually pretty helpful. When you're learning guitar, it's really easy to be like your own worst enemy and think that you're progressing faster than you are and to think that you're better than you are. Not that I've done that, just, but it's easy to kind of get ahead of yourself and start trying to practice techniques before you're ready for it. And the thing with Yousician is it straight up just won't let you unless you've proven that you can play what it's taught you so far. And another cool feature with Yousician is that it has this guided lesson mode. You enter how long you can play for, like 10 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever, and then it'll give you a guided lesson based on how you've played so far and what it thinks you can work on and what it thinks you should learn next for the amount of time that you can practice that day. It's pretty cool. And another good thing was, if you're familiar with tabs, you can just jump in and play right away. And even if you're not, you can jump in and play right away, because it introduces you to them pretty quickly and makes them super easy to understand. So that's cool. Now, is gamifying guitar necessary? No. Does it help you learn faster? Also no. Was it fun? No. Yeah, kinda. And isn't that the point? I just looked in a light and I can't see. And that's kind of a big thing with Yousician, It is fun. It's an extremely convenient resource, It kind of has everything that you need in one place. It has lessons, it has practice, and it even has songs. But the thing with the songs, how before I said, so pretty much every song ever was on Yousician? Yeah, not anymore. The selection's, limited. Now, in terms of the songs that they use for the lessons, it's totally fine. It's good for teaching you the techniques that you just learned in like a not overwhelming way, but they're not necessarily what you want to be playing. I mean, maybe they are, I don't know. Yousician does feature pop songs, but I think because of licensing, they wanted to buy songs that work for all of the instruments that Yousician teaches. So, you know, there's a lot of Coldplay, which, you know, Coldplay's okay, but it's not even Coldplay. It's covers of Coldplay, or whatever song it is. It's not just Coldplay. They have other bands too, but it's never the actual band. It's the musicianers covering those bands. And half the time, the singer has like a Swedish accent you can hear. It's not the worst. It's not the end of the world. But, all that said, what I do like is that they offer a variety of difficulties for all the pop songs that they do have. Like from the first day you pick up the guitar, you'll be able to play like a recognizable melody. Like without a backing track, you could turn the speakers off and just like from what you play, you'll be able to be like, oh yes, Baba Black Sheep. In comparison to Rocksmith, where the first time that you play, you know, you're just playing like every 50th note in the song. Speaking of Rocksmith, we do have to compare the two, because you know, they are, similar. I think an important place to start when comparing the two is the price. If you look online or like wait for a deal, you can probably find Rocksmith for like $13 to $20. That much money would buy you like a week of Yousician. Price aside, Yousician's hands down a better learning tool for beginners. Compared to Rocksmith, its approach to teaching you is a lot more traditional. The way it builds on techniques feels a lot more natural. It's paced a lot better. The lessons are more thorough. That said, Rocksmith's hands down a better tool for practicing. While Yousician's good at introducing you to new concepts, when it comes to actually practicing it, there's not too much else to it. Rocksmith has a handful of technique games that are a fun alternative to like actually traditional practicing. Yousician's pretty much limited to like its main functionality, which is just the scrolling tabs, which isn't a weak thing, but I think Rocksmith really excels at turning learning guitar into a game, a fun game. And number two, because Rocksmith actually has songs that you probably want to play, Yousician, you know, you've got what you've got. I don't know if you saw my most recent Rocksmith video. So for me personally, I enjoyed Yousician a lot. I thought it was a lot of fun. That said, Yousician didn't offer anything that I can't find elsewhere for cheaper and also better. Like if you were to combine guitar tricks with Rocksmith for practice, you're gonna improve a lot faster and get a lot more information and ultimately be a better guitar player than you could be with Yousician. But Yousician's on your phone, so I mean, what I'd recommend is if Yousician sounds interesting to you, definitely go for the 7-day free trial. The only thing you have to keep in mind is to sign up for the 7-day free trial. They make you register for the Premium Plus plan for a year, which is $250. And it's like, we'll just renew once the 7 days are up. Don't worry about it. So you have to make sure you worry about it and cancel before they get you. But otherwise, it's a totally smooth process and it gives you access to the app so you can see for yourself if you like it. At the end of the day, I think if you're totally new to the guitar, Yousician's worth trying out that 7-day free trial. Even if you're anything less than advanced, I think, you know, Yousician could be fun for you. If you are advanced, I don't know. And yeah, that's it.